Ayan, wala si Jess. Okay. Guess we can start. Ano naman, everybody wants to join in, we can just hop in any moment. So again, this is our fifth, maybe sixth webinar now already. So on every webinar, and I guess this is your first time joining us, Brain and Armel, no, with freelancing, and I'm not sure how far you are in your freelancing in terms of your career. Maybe you guys are, ano bang skills nyo, sir? Are you guys, do you guys have any background ba with freelancing or being a VA? What's your background ba? Para lang I know what level of conversation should we set.
Sir, to be honest, newbie pa po tayo.
Newbie. That's fine. Totally fine. Si Brain, I think Brain is one of the applicants that we had from previous weeks. So I can't remember. Maybe maybe he has experience. Tama ba, Brain?
Yep, just a little bit about social media marketing.
Nice. Social media marketing, super in demand yan. It's a very, very good skill. Very good niche to have. Somebody joined. Parang nawala. Sino yun? Teresa. Teresa, thank you for joining our session for today. So we're just discussing first, and I always talk about this naman, no, whenever I start out the webinar, kasi especially for Armel, no, na medyo bago, newbie. So what are the things that you actually need? Kasi I don't want to give you the skills if you can't really start, if you can start out with freelancing, no. Thank you, Teresa, for joining. If you can start out with freelancing, no. So here are some of the things that you will need to get your freelancing career started. First, of course, you will need a skill, right? So I want you guys to think of freelancing as an actual business, diba? And for every business, you either sell a physical product or a service. So for our case, what we sell are our services, specifically our skills and our time. So hindi na tayo normal employees, right? We are actual business owners, di ba? And yung freelancing, ito yung business natin, di ba? We give our time to our clients, and we offer our services, di ba? Isipin nyo para kang nag-hire ng lawyer, di ba? Parang ganun tayo. Hina-hire tayo ng mga ibang tao for our services, for our expertise, right? And those expertise can be anything. It could be customer service, it could be video and photo editing on Brain's case, it could be, digital marketing or social media marketing, right? So those are the skills. So of course, if you want to start up freelancing, you have to have a skills. I mean, if you don't think you have a skill, I suggest you go to YouTube. I mean, check out the skill there. Search ka lang kung anong gusto mong niche. And when finding a niche, no, I always suggest na start off with something you are good at already, or something that you are very interested in. Halimbawa ako, I'm not very good with photo and video editing, pero that was something I was super interested in. So I learned it through YouTube, as in free lang. What you needed lang is time. Which goes to our third item. Skip natin yung pangalawa, pero which goes to our third item. So sa business, many people think that when you want to start up a business, you should have a capital or you should have a money, right, to start up capital. But in the freelancing business, what you really need the most is time. Because with time, you can get a skill. With time, you can obtain equipment, right? So you need to have time. Either kasi freelancing is best partnered with another full-time job, and that's how I started as well. Meron akong full-time job, tapos nag-try ako mag freelancing part-time, and that's the best way to really start out freelancing. Try it as part-time. If magustuhan mo, maybe after a week, maybe a year, depende sa'yo, then go full-time. For my case, it took me about 6, maybe 7 months before I finally decided na resign na tayo. Resign na tayo and then let's go full time with let's go full time with freelancing. Pero by that time, by when I decided to go full time, I think I already have the skills, the time, and of course, the last thing that we need is equipment. I say equipment because sometimes yung mga tao, and I've hired VAs in the past before, no? May mga tao na may time, willing sila mag-invest ng time to do freelancing. Meron silang skills to do freelancing. Pero nung nasa actual job na sila, yung PC nasisira, yung internet pawala-wala, yung internet naka-data lang pala, walang wired internet. So, remember, this is a business, so it may be worth it to invest on your equipment. And when I say equipment, I'm not just referring to your computer, no. Ako, I invested in a lot. I invested in my workspace, my table, my chair, my keyboard, my mouse, my microphone, a decent webcam, a decent monitor. I use dual monitors. So again, I want to be productive. I want to give the most quality na service that I can to our clients, to my clients, 'di ba? And that's what you should do as well. I'm not saying na alam mo 'yun, bumili ka ng gaming laptop agad-agad. Pero it may be very much worth it to start to invest on equipment, especially katulad nito headset. So those are the things that you need to really put your foot on the door sa freelancing. Questions? Anybody about those skills? Do you agree that you need skills? Do you need equipment? That you need the time? Do you guys have the time? I mean, I know nag-alat kayo ng time to join the session today, no? Pero do you think you will have the time to actually do freelancing kung sakasakaling, alam mo yun, ma-hire kayo or magkaroon ng opening? Opening the floor for any comments from anybody. Do you think you have a skill? Do you think you have equipment? Kung meron kayong skill, maybe you can ask me. Do you think you can benefit from that skill? What do you think? What skills do you have right now? Na sa tingin ninyo magagamit ninyo? Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Well, talking about time, I think time is manageable naman po. When talk about skills, like we said a while ago, I am a newbie. But if I think na meron akong specific na I can focus on, so and then from time to time na mga na let's say napapractice hanggang sa ano, I think sana matulungan din po tayo or regarding about skills. Another thing po is equipment. Do we have as system requires po?
That's a good question, no? So, not many clients require, a specific equipment in writing. Pero when they do, it's normally a higher ticket client. Ibig sabihin, normally mas mataas yung rate, right? So if you wanna catch more of the higher paying clients, of course, you want to invest in good equipments, right? And when we say good equipments, siguro I'm talking about something na i3 or i5 na computer, tapos at least 8 gigs of RAM, a wired internet connection. If you have dual monitors, that's even more preferred, right? In terms of laptop, again, at least 8 gig. i3 or i5 na laptop, goods na goods ka na dyan, ready to go ka na dyan. I know workmates who are earning more than $10 an hour and laptop lang gamit nila. laptop lang gamit nila tapos magandang headset lang kasi customer service yung niche nila eh. So that worked for them. Goods. Anyone has any questions pa? Thank you, Armel, for sharing that with us. And in terms of the skills, Yun naman yung purpose ng webinar natin, no? If you wanna join consistently sa mga webinars natin, definitely may mapipick up kayo. I think in the next few weeks, we'll start off with actually teaching skills na. And right now, we'll be doing project management because that's my niche. That's where I think I'm good at. So that's what I'll share. So let's start off. If you don't have any more questions, we'll go ahead and proceed. So uh, project management, right? So project management, project manager, um, based sa based sa Google, no, project management is one of the, along with a Rolly. Thanks for joining again the session. Uh, so based from the reviews, no, coming from Google, I've read na parang project managers are so in demand right now that we even have courses for them. Google has a course for project management kasi there will be an increase in the need for project management in the next 5, maybe 7 years. So this is a skill that will be and always gonna be in demand, no, project management, because in a team, let's say it's a digital marketing team, there will always be a writer, there will always be a social media expert, there will always be a web developer, a web designer. Pero the person that holds everybody accountable and follow ups with everybody, that, my friends, is a project manager. And so basahin natin yung ano, no, basahin natin yung description here sa Google. And thank you for Jess for sending this out. Tinulungan niya ako mag-research. So project managers, they are the ones who keep the business moving on full steam ahead, from kicking off projects to managing timelines to scheduling team meetings, creating process that help the business run more efficiently. There are so many skills you can offer under this umbrella. Super true. It is the process of leading the work of a team to achieve all project goals within given constraints. This information is usually described in project documentation. Project documentation created at the beginning of the development process. The primary constraint are scope, time, and budget. Okay, so again, project managers, right? So think of project managers in layman's term, parang sila yung traffic light, no? Sa sa intersection, yung mga kotse, pag hindi nila alam kung dapat ba silang mag-go o mag-stop, normally magkakabanggaan yan, magkakagulo-gulo yan, no? As a project manager, you will be the communicator for everybody. Uh the life the task of the project manager starts again from onboarding. So kung project manager ka, pwede kang kasama sa onboarding up to the project go live. Ibig sabihin yung actual launch kung ano mang project yung ginagawa ninyo. And when we talk about the word project, no, it could be anything. Bigyan ko kayo ng mga example na kasi sobrang dami example ng pwede maging project eh. An example of project is this webinar itself, di ba? So it could the onboarding part there is finding audience. And this is the go live na part, right? Another project could be website development, right? Sa onboarding ng website development, you talk about ano ba yung gustong color ng client, ano bang gustong brand ng client, ano gusto nilang logo, ano yung copy na nakalagay sa website until ma-launch yung website. Another project that I managed my book before is creating an ebook for a client. So super ano yun, super critical yung client kasi the client was a writer. So alam mo yun, hindi kami pwede mag-create basta-basta ng mga mga eme-eme lang na content, 'di ba? Kasi the writer knows if the ebook will be knowledgeable for the viewers or not. So another example ng possible na project is online course, right? Pwede tayong magkaroon ng client or you can get a client na gumagawa ng online course. Normally, ito yung mga coach, right? They could be a fitness coach, they could be a life coach, they could be a counselor, psychologist, ito yung mga tao na nag-offer ng online courses. And as a project manager, it will be your task to again onboard the clients, talk about ano yung mga kailangan nila dun sa project, and then following up with the team. Okay? So, what are the skills ba that you need in project management? So, yung next slide natin, it's more of the things that I learned. No? Kasi when I started out, hindi ko naman naisip na, uy, project management na agad gusto ko. hindi, hindi siya ganun nangyari sa akin. No? It just so happened na I came from the operations environment and I'm so used to communicating with many people and running the operations. That's why it's kind of related to project management na rin. Pero don't confuse it. Operations management and project management is two different things. Kasi an operations manager has to be an expert with the operations. Kailangan alam niyang patakbo yung operations kahit nakapikit siya. A project manager, on the other hand, is a jack of all trades. Ibig sabihin, remember sa isang project, it will be done by many things. Let's say yung ebook, right? Yung ebook, meron niyang cover, which is yung design, right? Yung ebook, meron niyang copy, yung mismong laman ng ebook. Yung ebook, meron niyang SEO, yung search engine optimization. Ibig sabihin, ano yung mga keywords na nakalagay. So for my case, I will need to talk to those three departments, 'di ba? Na parang nagagawa ng ebook. It's not just one person. So I don't have to be a master of everything, but I have to know a little bit of everything. Just a little bit para lang may idea ako kung ano yung tinutukoy nung mga ibang members ng team, right? When they talk to me, because ako kasi yung kakausap sa client, ako yung magpa-follow up sa kanila, ako yung weekly magpa-provide ng update and all that. So let's talk about the first thing that you need. First, eto, medyo nahirapan ako dito. You have to be organized. And when I say organized, as in OCDC organized, no? When I start out my freelancing, um, so let's put it one thing. When you say organized, part niyan is documentation. Number one yan. You have to be very good with documentation. Kapag if you wanna get organized, ako, I have almost a tracker on anything. I build a tracker on anything. Kaya super love ko yung Excel eh, tsaka yung spreadsheet. Kasi lahat nilalagay ko doon. Um, super dapat magaling ka mag-document, right? Or mag-track ng mga progress, and you have to be organized. Remember, you are the traffic light, 'di ba? Ikaw yung mag-organize ng mga timelines, ikaw yung magse-set ng mga appointments, 'di ba? Kapag ka na-hire ka as project manager, which is, again, we are hiring a project manager right now. If ma-hire ka na project manager, yun yung mga bagay na i-expect from you. Number one is to be organized, 'di ba? Ano yung mga things na kailangan i-organize mo? Again, the things that you may need to organize is documentation, your emails. Your emails, you need those organized as well. Any written formats, also updates. Kapag may mga updates yung mga clients mo, no, you have to be organized kung saan mo ilalagay yung mga updates na yun, really. And the other thing is, kapag ka-organize ka, dapat you have so ako, dahil OC ako, no, pagdating sa mga ganun, I always have a folder for everything. Let's say, yung client ko, yung list ng clients ko, nakaset sila per folder sa Google Drive ko. So, something as simple as that, no? Having categorizing stuff. If you know how, if you're good with categorizing stuff, that's a good sign of being an organized person. Number two is naming convention. Kung ikaw yung tao na kailangan you have a naming convention for everything, kailangan mo yun as a project manager, kasi hindi pwedeng, halimbawa, yung unang project mo, ang tawag mo pangalan ni client, tapos task. Tapos sa susunod naman, date, tapos task. Alam mo yun, there has to be some consistency, and that's part of being organized, right? So if you aim to be a project manager like me, you have to be organized talaga. And Again, hindi naman kailangan super OC, no? Pero, kasi ako, hindi naman ako super organized sa tao myself. Pero, alam mo yun, you have to have a general visibility, and you have to have at least a certain level of organization in your mind and in yourself. Kasi kung ikaw mismo yung project manager, hindi ka organized, then you can expect na yung ibang team members hindi nila magagawa na maigi yung mga tasks nila. Any questions, suggestions for being organized? Organized ba kayo? Do you guys think you have a future with project management? Mga organized ba kayo na tao? Kasi ako honestly nung una hindi. Sino dito yung organized? Meron ba sa inyo organized? Baka may future kayo sa project management. Anong malay ninyo, di ba? Anyone? Walang organized? Is it really super organized or how to be? Is it really super organized? So, sige, baka kasi subjective yung ibig ko sabihin ng organized no? So, when I say organized, siguro you can start off with yung dalawa kong sinabi, no? And categorizing stuff and do a proper naming convention of your documents. If you know how to document, if you know how to categorize stuff, then you're really off to a good start. Panigurado organized ka na. So, part of being categorized is, halimbawa, nasa bahay ka, right? Para sa mga mamshi nandito sa call. Halimbawa, nasa bahay ka, nagtitiklop ka ng damit, di ba? Organize ka kung lahat ng mga polo pinagsasama-sama mo, lahat ng mga sando pinagsasama-sama mo, lahat ng mga t-shirt pinagsasama-sama mo. Minsan nga pati yung mga magkakakulay pinagsasama-sama mo pa eh. Di ba? So that's part of being organized. That's the level of organization that I'm talking to. Me po, pero di kasing hindi rin ako organized. Napilitan lang din ako actually. Rolly is an organized person. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you kung organized ka. I track everything using Excel. I might be the one. Uy, paparinig si sir. So yeah, definitely kung may knowledge ka sa Excel, that's a super, super huge advantage. If you want to do project management, no? So let's move to our second item. Next item on our list is being a good communicator. And being a good communicator, again, both in written and spoken communication. So doon muna tayo sa written part, no? If you're a project manager, you will need to coordinate with two, well, maybe three types of person. Una, team members. Of course, you need to coordinate with your team members. Number two, you need to coordinate with clients, yung clients natin mismo, kasi ikaw yung magbibigay ng updates sa kanila. And the last is probably the most important person is yung business owners, right? Kasi sila yung, of course, sila yung may-ari ng business. Kailangan mo magbigay ng updates sa kanila, right? So, communication in project management is super, super, super important. Kasi lahat ng updates normally na-funnel sa'yo. Ikaw yung nakakaalam. Let's say may complain yung client. Let's say nagpasa si client ng project. Let's go back to the example, ebook. Nagpasa si client, nagpasa kayo sabi ni client, gusto kong deadline is 1 week to create the design. Hindi ka magaling mag-communicate, nakakalimutan mo na 1 week pala yung deadline. Di ba? So, deads na tayo agad doon sa part na yun. And that's part of good communication. You have to really coordinate well with your team members. And actually, kung nasa project management na niche ka, no, you may be familiar with the term over-communicate. When we say over-communicate, ibig sabihin, in-email mo na, tinawag mo na, itinext mo na, sinabi mo pa personally. Alam mo yun, you don't just rely on one single form of communication, right? You over-communicate. Kahit over-communication is different from, is different from yung pangungulit. Let's say, sinabi mo na ng Monday, sinabi mo na ulit ng Tuesday. That's different. When I say over-communicate, you just are really trying to make sure that lahat ng possible na way na pwede mong gawin para makaskade yung information na gawa mo. Again, it could be through email, team meeting, text, chat, yung communication, and communication in the form of let's say Slack, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, di ba? You should be able to communicate well with those three types of person. Again, this is me being organized, ha. Imagine niyo, kinakategorize ko. Kinakategorize ko na yung mga bagay-bagay. So that's me being organized din. Kasi it's super easier. Mas madali siya tandaan, di ba? So you should be able to communicate with the team members, with the other members of the team. You should be able to communicate with the clients. You should be able to communicate with the business owners, both verbal and written, right? If you don't know how to do that, I mean, better practice. You better practice kung ano mang ginagawa ninyo ngayon. Kasi for sure, hindi mo lang napapansin, pero yung skills that you can use in freelancing, you can actually practice in your everyday life. Let's say nagtitinda ka sa sari-sari store. Right? Nagtitinda ka sa sari-sari store. So, alam mo yun, may part doon ng project management. Are you organized sa pagtitinda mo ng sari-sari store? Ibig sabihin, yung mga candy, magkakasama ba? nasa baba ba sila lahat? 'Di ba? Yung mga chiquito, yung mga dingdong magkakasama ba sa isang lugar? Yung mga noodles magkakatabi ba? 'Di ba? So that's part of organization. That's part of you practicing project management, right? In terms of communication naman and documentation, kapag ka may kita, may sahod, 'di ba? Nino-note mo ba? May documentation ka ba? May documentation ka ba, 'di ba? Pagka may nangungutang, halimbawa lang, kino-communicate mo ba sa nanay mo o kaya kung sino man yung may-ari nung sari-sari store, 'di ba? So again, these are super generic skills that sometimes hindi mo alam, pwede mo palang pagkakitaan, 'di ba? The only thing that's holding you back is you realizing that you can make money out of you being an organized person, out of you being a good communicator. Hindi mo lang nare-realize, di ba? Pero in reality, araw-araw mo na siya napapractice talaga. Okay, sige. So question ulit. Is anybody here? Sorry, I know pwedeng hindi naman project management yung niche ninyo, pero I think good communication naman is required for any role. So does anybody here thinks that they are a good communicator? So tingin nyo ba good communicator kayo? If good communicator kayo, ano yung ginagawa ninyo? How do you communicate with others? And regardless, I mean, kung wala kayo sa team ngayon, if you're unemployed, that's fine. You're still communicating with yung mga kasama nyo naman sa bahay, di ba? So, does anybody have any experience here na, alam mo yun, napakita ninyo na good communicator kayo? If you can give any examples na, alam mo yun, maybe naging, nga, no, galing ko mag-communicate, ah. So, may mga example ba kayo? Anyone? Ah. Wow. So si Jess, medyo medyo guilty na hindi siya magaling mag-communicate. So, of course, it's super needed, no? Especially if you're working on a team environment. You have to, really, really talk to your team members and communicate. Ano pa? Sino pa ang may experience with communicating with others? Do you have any questions kung paano makipag-communicate? Maybe I can give you some tips on how to communicate with other people. What do you think? Shy type. Guys, this webinar is this webinar is for you. So of course, if may question lang kayo anytime at any point of the webinar, just feel free to ask out kasi I can maybe discuss things too fast, hindi ko alam, no. So let me know lang kung may mga question kayo. So slowly may tanong. When giving instructions, I make sure it's well explained, and when giving feedback to the associates, I make sure I translate the purpose and benefits. Very good. So this is something na natutunan ko rin, no, as a project manager as an operations manager, sometimes may mga bagay na for you is common sense, pero sa iba hindi pala common. So you'll get that a lot with project management, no. Minsan hindi mo na i-communicate, minsan magko-coordinate ka sa web developer or sa writer or sa designer. Minsan hindi mo sasabihin na, "Oh, gusto ko yung title naka-bold, ha." 'Di ba? Hindi mo na sinabi kasi sa tingin mo common sense siya, eh, 'di ba? Pero nung ginawa na yung image hindi naka-bold. So you have to be very good talaga with communicating, or dapat mo i-communicate talaga lahat and hindi mo pwedeng i-assume talaga na what's common to you is common to everybody else. Right. Sometimes you have to copy the language of the people you're talking to. Sometimes kailangan mong either itaas or ibaba yung level nung communication mo if you're talking to other team members of the team. And of course, you have to be very sensitive then, no, of their roles. That's one of my problems as project manager kasi I'm so used to giving feedback that sometimes parang alam mo yun, ang dating dun sa pinagbibigyan ko ng feedback is parang ino-overpower ko sila. And that's something that I'm still trying to learn, no? Kasi of course, you have to give it to the people. Expertise nila yun, eh. Yung binibigyan mo na feedback, eh. So, they're the experts on those fields. Your job is to just communicate. It's not part of your job to, alam mo yun, question their credibility or the quality of their work. But of course, you can provide feedback depending on what you know and what the client is requesting. Jess, what if, sir, you make a mistake pero need mo sabihin as a team? How do you relay it na hindi ka magkakaroon ng bad impression? I think so. That's a good question, no? Coming from Jess. If you made a mistake, I've done a lot of that. And yung iba ko mistake, may financial impact pa. I'll give you an example, ha. I had a writer do a content, a blog content, 'di ba? May pinagawa ko sa writer na content na sabi ko, "Uy, mag-create ka ng content for this client." So, create siya ng content, no? Create siya ng content. It took her 3, maybe 6 hours, right? It took her 3, maybe 6 hours. It turns out na hindi pala namin kailangan ng content para dun sa client na 'yon, 'di ba? Either hindi namin kailangan ng content dun sa client na 'yon or we already have enough content for the client na 'yon, 'di ba? So I made a mistake as a project manager because I gave the other person a task, right? Na hindi naman kailangan. Yung task na 'yon, it even wasted her time. Tapos syempre, since ginawa niya 'yon, she's on the clock. Babayaran siya ng client, not the client, pero babayaran siya ng business, 'di ba? Binayaran siya ng boss ko for something na hindi naman required, 'di ba? And for those cases, my strongest suggestion or what I always do is to just stay honest. If you made a mistake, admit it na nagkamali ka. That's the best thing that you can do. And probably the other best thing that you can do is to communicate it as soon as possible. Kung alam mo na nagkamali ka na kaagad, huwag mo nang patagalin. I-communicate mo na agad na nagkamali ka. So if there is a way para ma-resolve pa yung pagkakamali mo, maihabol pa, 'di ba? Don't keep it to yourself, 'di ba? Kasi if you keep it to yourself, mamaya sisingaw at sisingaw din kasi. So there's no point in hiding it. And yung pagkakaroon ng bad impression, I think that's unavoidable, 'di ba? Hindi man maiwasan yun, eh. People will have a bad impression for you, but technically, as a person, that's the last thing that you need. I mean, to care about what other people think of you, 'di ba? Because if anything, ikaw yung nakakakilala sa sarili mo, 'di ba? So, regardless of what they think of me, kahit gaano ka-bad yung impression nila sa akin, I know what I'm capable of, right? Magkamali man ako ng isang beses, dalawang beses, I know for myself na for every one mistake that I do, I make 20 correct things. Bumabawi ako. Kung hindi man ako makabawi today, babawi ako tomorrow. Hindi ako makabawi tomorrow, babawi ako the following week. Babawi at babawi ako. There is always time. So, yun, si Rolly is suggesting on, Jess, siguro acknowledge your mistake, which is, yun, hindi binanggit ko. Very good na you acknowledge your mistake and you do it as soon as possible. Thank you, Jess and Rolly, for sharing those. So, related dun sa tanong ni Jess, na we move on to being proactive. So, paano ba? So proactive and taking initiative, no? So this is something that I learned way back pa. So as a leader, as a project manager, it's very important that you take initiative. Anong ibig ko sabihin ng taking initiative and being proactive? Ibig sabihin, you always take the first step. Diba? You always take the first step. You always think one step ahead of the game. Kumbaga, kung proactive ka, kung halimbawa nasa team meeting tayo, no? Kung nasa team meeting tayo, a proactive person will always think ahead. Parang, teka, baka sabihin ng client ganito. Teka, ano kaya yung magiging feedback ng client kapag binigay natin yan? That is being proactive, right? Taking initiative naman is, kahit hindi ka inuutusan, ikaw na yung kusang gumagawa. Hindi dahil hindi dahil sumisip-sip ka, pero alam mo sa sarili mo na as a project manager, kailangan ko tong gawin. It's within my scope of work. Hindi lang sinasabi sa akin in writing or verbally na dapat ko siyang gawin, pero I take the initiative to do it anyways. Right? Halimbawa, on my case, right? I'm a project manager. So minsan sasabihin sa akin ng boss ko, "Hey James, can you contact this team and ask how much their prices are?" Parang gano'n, 'di ba? How much their prices are. So I take it upon myself na parang halimbawa, sabihin nung kinontak ko, "Ay, hindi nakikipag-usap via email, kailangan nyo kaming tawagan," 'di ba? So me, being the proactive person, tatawagan ko na sila. I will take the initiative. Hindi na ako babalik sa boss ko na, "Boss, ayaw nila eh. Ayaw nila makipag-usap via email. Sabi nila over the phone lang daw." 'Di ba? So hindi na ako nagkaganon. Me being a proactive person, ako na yung nagtataas ng kamay ko. Sige, tatawagan kita. Yan pala yung kailangan. Gusto mong tinatawagan? Sige, tatawagan kita. So that's being proactive. That is taking the initiative. Alam mo yun? If it's within, again, taking initiative and being proactive, it's acting on something that is, not written or verbally implied na dapat gawin mo, but since it's within the scope of work, ginagawa mo, right? As a project manager, that is something that you should do. You always one step ahead of the game, right? Always taking initiative. Ano yung mga dapat natin gawin? Ano yung mga dapat natin gawin? Dapat ko ba gawin to? Diba? So that saves a lot of time for you and for the business, especially when running a project, right? Last thing that, well, not the last thing, pero siguro another thing that I learned is pag project manager ka, you have to be detail oriented. So how detailed am I talking about, no? And ako siguro medyo medyo mas madali yung transition ko, no, sa pagiging detail oriented. Bakit? Kasi medyo inborn sa akin yung pagiging pakialamero. Medyo inborn sa akin yung pagiging pakialamero, no. Minsan may mga nakikita kong mga bagay na, and maybe part na rin ng pagiging OC ko, no, na minsan kunyari minsan sa title ng mga blog post, no, minsan nakikita ko yung mga letters hindi nakakapital. May mga letters na dapat nakakapital, hindi nakakapital. Yung mga punctuations, imbis na question mark yung dulo, period yung nakalagay. Imbis na comma ang nakalagay, semicolon. Alam mo yun? Imbis na bullets ang nakalagay, numbers ang nakalagay, di ba? And the difference between bullets and numbers, just to let you know, is a bullet ginagamit siya, like what I'm showing right now, or organized, good communicator, proactive, and detailed, right? I use the black bullet right there. The reason why I use a black bullet is because it doesn't have a pattern. Wala siyang level na sinusunod. They are different categories. They are different categories, but they don't follow a certain hierarchy. They don't follow a certain chronological order. That is different if you use a numbering system. Kapag may numbering system ka, normally it's either a countdown. Countdown, ibig sabihin top 1, top 2, top 3, top 4, right? Or step-by-step process. Ano yung step 1? Ano yung step 2? Step 3, step 4? That is the difference between using a bullet and a numbering. Little sidetrack there. Pero, again, that's me being detail-oriented, di ba? Minsan kapag ka vlog content, I also look at the spacing, 'di ba? Tama ba yung spacing? Masyado bang malalaking spacing? Yung margin, tama ba yung margin? Yung pagka binasa ko siya, is it something na maiintindihan ng 8 years old na nagbabasa, 'di ba? That's me being detail oriented. Another thing na me being detail oriented is minsan sa color scheme, right? I could be super detail oriented. Gusto ko yung red, ganitong klase ng red. Alam mo yun? Hindi ako yung tipo ng tao na pagka sinabi mong red o red din to. Hindi. There are different shades of red for me. So, kapag kami sinabi ko sa na gusto ko red violet, kailangan ibibigay mo sa akin red violet. 'Di ba? So that's the level of detail na required kapag gusto mo mag-project manager, no? And dito nakalagay never miss a topic. I'm referring to kapag project manager ka kasi you will definitely do a lot of documentation, 'di ba? So it's very important na when you're on a meeting, nag-document ka, hindi mo naman kailangan i-type lahat, right? Hindi mo naman kailangan i-type lahat, but you always type whatever is important. Kung may narinig ka na sa tingin mo hindi important, ilagay mo pa rin. Kasi baka sa'yo lang hindi important. Again, never assume, di ba? Never assume. Kapag may bagay ka na hindi alam, it doesn't mean na hindi na rin alam yun ng ibang tao. So, never assume. Document mo pa rin siya. Again, try to be as organized as you can. Just bullet points, right? Never miss a topic. So that's what I meant. That's what I meant by being detail oriented. So again, opening the floor for anybody. Kung sa tingin niyo, do you guys think you are proactive? Do you guys think na you guys are detail oriented? Can you give examples in the past where you think na naging proactive kayo? Can you give example in the past na alam yun, medyo sa tingin ko pwede ako maging project manager kasi I'm very familiar with detail orientation, right? Anyone? Brain, share your experience. Wala ka, tinuro mo na si Brain, baka nahihiya yan. Baka nahihiya si Sir. Pero kung gusto mo mag-open mic, okay lang naman din para ma-share, para marinig ng ibang members. Para marinig ng ibang members dito sa group, no, yung experience mo as project manager. Rolly, nagre-require ba ng experience ang client bosses if they're hiring PS? That's a very good question. Nagre-require ba ng experience ang clients and bosses if they are hiring PMs? No. No. It's not always required. Well, depende sa client, 'di ba? Pero some clients will require somebody na may experience with project management, but those are for the higher ticket clients. Maybe clients that are worth $10 an hour. Pero kasi there are project managers like me. Ako, I started as project manager at $4 an hour. Diba? I started as being as a project manager as for $4 an hour. Pero I had offers in the past as high as uh $15 an hour for being a project manager. But again, those are high ticket clients, no? Na hindi lang project management yung gagawin ko. I will be part of onboarding. Onboarding din. So to answer your question, no, it is not required or not always required. Kasi sometimes it is eh. Pero it's not always required. Actually, yung opening namin ngayon for project management, etong mga dinidiscuss ko sa inyo na skills right now, organized, good communicator, proactive, and detail-oriented, kung pasok kayo sa apat na to, I mean, pwede na kayo agad dito. Doesn't require any experience. Although, pag sinabi kong walang experience sa project management, ibig ko sabihin is, never ka na hire in writing as project manager talaga, right? Pero, you should have at least an experience. You should have a proof when you get interviewed. You should have a proof. You should have you should be able to provide examples that one, naging organized ka. Number two, good communicator ka. Number three, proactive ka. And last is detail-oriented ka, di ba? Kahit wala kang experience as an actual project manager in writing, that's fine. As long as you can prove verbally during the interview, provide examples of how you did it in the past, right? So you don't need experience. No. Yes, I used to be proactive, sir, pero di pero di naman ako na-appreciate. Oh, minsan ganun talaga eh, no? Pero actually part ng skills required ko dapat dito is ideally a good leader, no? Pero it's not always like that. And yung being appreciated, it's part of every work, no? And hindi na siya nag-apply sa being project manager and freelancing. People will not motivate you, right? So it's very important that you yourself can motivate yourself. Let's say, sir, that's where I lose confidence of applying kasi in any role when I find out they require an experience. Ako minsan kahit nakalagay required an experience, nag-a-apply ako eh. kasi kaya kong i-explain during the interview. Kaya kong i-relate yung previous experience ko sa pagiging project manager. And that's how I started. Remember, wala akong alam sa project management before. I was an operations manager, pero that's a totally different thing, right? Pero kasi what I did during the interview is, sabi ng client, naghahanap siya ng responsible na tao. So sinabi ko sa kanya, responsible ako na tao in the sense na, alam mo yun, ako yung nagmamanage ng operations. I take it upon myself na ito yung mga dapat gawin ko. Diba? Again, experience is not required. In writing, di ba? Yung in writing. Parang, parang diploma or certificate na hinahanap, di ba? So, those aren't required. As long as, again, you can provide a relevant experience that you had in the past. Off topics, is there a chance pa din ba na ma-hire even as a PM? Even na interview na before? Yes, of course. Of course. Definitely. Especially kung hindi naman sinabi sa iyo ng interviewer na magsak ka. Siguro kung sinabi sa akin ng interviewer na, nope, you're not qualified, I'm sorry. Siguro yun, di na ako aasa. Pero if wala namang open, alam mo yun, hindi naman sinabi na parang negative ka, sir, deads ka na, hindi ka fit. Yun, di na ako maasa. Pero, plus, alam mo yun, I mean, there will always be clients you can apply for. I mean, you don't have to stick to one client, di ba? I mean, na-experience ko rin yan, sometimes makakita ako ng job post na parang gustong-gusto kong applyan, ang ganda ng rate, tapos yung mga skill set, yun na yun ako eh. Ako yung nasa job description eh. Pero hindi ako natanggap. Nag-move on na lang ako agad. Kasi, alam mo yun, there's no point crying over spilled milk. I mean, wala na siyang sense eh. Uh, if anything, masaya na you can move on, 'di ba? You have all the opportunity to move on and find a new client. And probably that's one of the perks of freelancing, no? Is you can apply and apply and apply and apply and apply. And as a freelancer, you also have the option to choose who your employer is, 'di ba? Dati ang nangyayari lang, alam mo 'yun sa corporate, sila lang yung may opinion. O hire kita, wala kang say doon. Wala kang say doon. Pero sa freelancing, you actually have the say, 'di ba? Kaya mo mag-decide kung na-hire ka, gusto ko ba tong employer na 'to o hindi. Nasa sa'yo rin 'yun, 'di ba? So that's something that's also good. Can you share po next time how to use some of the tools? Actually, part siya ng topic natin dapat, pero I don't think we still have time. So ito, ayan, may isa pa tayong slide eh. So I will actually discuss what are the cloud-based tools that we use for project management, documentation, ano yung mga ginagamit natin for documentation, ano yung mga communication tools that we use, what are the project management tools, how to use them. But we're out of time. But that was part of the topic. Maybe we can do a part 2 of this session about project management if you feel that this is helpful. um we can do a part 2 of project management, no, so we can discuss the tools naman that are related, and maybe briefly go back kung ano yung mga skills na required for you guys if you wanna do project management. Kasi um a lot I know a lot of people coming from the BPO industry that can benefit well with project management. Kasi why? Kasi sa BPO, part niyan kailangan organize ka eh. Remember pag nag-enter ka ng mga codes sa system, kailangan nasa tamang field ka, kailangan accurate yung nilalagay mo. Accuracy and quality is one of the metrics that is used across the board sa BPO. So I know for sure a lot of the BPO agents, leaders sa BPO industry are really organized people. Thank you, Jess. So I'm opening the floor for any question. Again, we'll just do a part 2 of project management natin, no, because we're out of time. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to open your mic, unmute, ask away. We can spend a few more minutes to answer your question. Just fire away.
Sir, I guess Brain has question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Go Brain.
What's your question?
Actually, no, it was already answered. I chatted it on the chat box a while ago. So
Oh,
thanks for
okay.
answering.
No problem, sir.
Yep.
Anytime.
Armel, you have question to write. Don't chat me, guys. You can ask your questions here. You can open your mic. Don't chat me in
Huwag
Messenger.
kayong
please.
mahiya. Tinatagalog na nga yung salita ko eh. Kayo naman, no?
Yes.
Para nga mas tayo engaging eh. That's one of the reasons then bakit gusto ko Google Meets tayo. Kasi mas gusto ko nakakausap yung audience. Unlike kasi kapag Facebook Live, no, Jess, hindi. Walang interaction. Pili ko, Jess, kailangan na talaga kita dito eh. Kailangan dalawa na tayo nagsasalita eh.
Sige, sir. Noted yan. Also we have sir, bago lang po sa pero interested to know about VA is Teresa Piloto and Armel Loyola po.
Oo nga eh. Like what I always say, no, I'm glad na you're taking the time to try out, to learn something about freelancing because this is the start, 'di ba? Ako ganyan din ako nag-start with freelancing. Alam mo yun, pakinig-kinig lang kasi alam mo yun, dati hindi tayo naniniwala na totoo yung freelancing eh, 'di ba? Hindi
True.
natin hindi natin alam na totoo pala na pwede pala maging forever na work at home ka. Alam mo yun? But I'm telling you guys, it's super true. Alam mo yun? Pwedeng maging work from home ka all your
For
life.
in demand.
Right. Mm-mm. Pero it's not easy, no? Just no. It's not easy. Super hirap din siya. Kahit matanggap ka na, the task itself, the workmates, the bosses, sometimes it's really hard pa din. Just can
Yeah,
totally attest to that.
that's true. Worth
Eh,
it pag naging VA kayo talaga, props.
super. Especially kung makukuha ka sa team katulad ng VirtualBell, no? Kung makukuha ka
Just
sa team.
like just like Sir James, parang ano lang, he started like a VA, a project manager. Now ngayon nag-start up na siya ng business niya as staffing agency. Dito ako
Correct.
nag-work sa kanya
Mm-mm.
as VA.
Correct. Ang goal ko for Jess is yung alam mo yon, yung VA niya maging VP in the future. Yan ang goal ko kay Jess. And syempre eventually mag-grow, no,
Yes, of
yung
course.
business. And
Who
yun naman yung
knows, malay nyo isa sa inyo, di ba, maging part din ng ano ng virtual bell.
right. May tatlo
Start
tayong
lang sa
opening
pakikinig.
ngayon, 'di ba, Jess? May tatlo kaming opening nila Jess ngayon and ni Madam Bell. We have an opening for an SEO. At maybe this is a good avenue rin, no, to bring that up. So we have 3 openings right now. We are looking for an SEO link builder. We are looking for a lead generation specialist. And we are looking for a project manager then. All part-time employments, and yung project manager namin super super hiring na siya. We need to endorse someone na by siguro Wednesday or maybe Thursday this coming week. Ganon siya ka-urgent, kailangan na siya. So if you know anybody or kayo mismo gusto mag-apply, please feel free to try out. If you have any questions, you can just message us on our page. You can comment on our posts. You can go to our website. Yung website namin where there's a job survey in there. You can definitely fill those out. So ayun, I think we also offer finder's fee for anybody who can refer somebody na qualified
Yeah, that's a good
candidates.
idea.
Mm,
Agree ako
mm,
dyan,
mm.
boss.
May finder's fee rin kami. If you can refer somebody, alam mo yun, we'll pay you for referring that person to us. Who knows, right? Pero uh I I I wish you guys, I hope you guys spread the word then, no, para marami ring matuto sa freelancing. And again, yung pag-join sa mga webinar na ganito like what Crowley is doing and si Irma, this is not their first time joining the session, no? So the more you join these sessions, the more talaga na nagiging, alam mo yun, the closer you are in being a freelancer. Kasi I mean, let's face it, not many people believe it na totoo yung freelance, right? And if you surround yourself with people na hindi naniniwala sa freelancing, hindi ka talaga makakapag-freelance. But if you join webinars like this, if you surround people like us na gustong mag-freelance, alam mo yun, mas magkakaroon ka ng motivation to actually do freelancing or maybe learn new skills to try out freelancing. True. Okay. Jess, do you have anything else to add?
So far gusto ko lang sabihin na thank you dun sa mga nag-participate, especially dun sa mga dati kong colleagues. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much sa mga nag-join. How about you, Madam Bell? We're about to close out the session. Do you have any reminders to our audience for today? Wala, huli ka. Hindi ka nakikinig. Si Irma na lang. Irma, do you have any comments? You want to share anything sa team? Being someone that has been a part of the Virtual Bell team? Actually, team member ka pa rin naman namin ngayon eh. Duh. Wala? Okay. All right. Guys, if you don't have any more questions, I know it's Sunday, it's family day, and it's, nighttime na. Should probably have your dinner na. Thank you again for joining today's session. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Jess, for finding these people to join our session. To Rolly, to Irma, who is, parang repeat viewers. Thank you. Hopefully, we get to work with you soon. Alam mo yun, and have you join the team. Because we want you guys we want to onboard you. We want to onboard as much people as we can din naman. But of course, there has to be a demand from the client, and you have to match the skills that we needed. But believe me, if there's anything, kung willing to accept lang tayo lahat, I will onboard everybody talaga. So again, thank you everybody for joining. I wish you good luck on your freelancing career. If you have any questions, message us on our Facebook page. This recording will be posted on YouTube as well. So if you miss anything, you can always watch the video there. Thank you guys, and have a good night. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.